what's up, dudes? I'm going to talk about what happened to me with DHGate and how China tried to screw me and what I did to solve my problem and what happened in the end and the whole transaction and everything. There's people out there that are ordering guitars, and a lot of people are getting what they ordered. I suppose what you don't see is the guy that ordered his guitar and totally got screwed. My story goes something like this. I buy the first guitar, you know, my father-in-law sees it, he's like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know. And he's an old guy, 70 years old, and he's like, you know, I'd like a guitar one time, and we were thinking, well, maybe we'll surprise him, we'll get him something for his birthday. I go back to the same seller that I bought the guitar from before. The handle on DHGate is called eBest. I try to order a black Les Paul. You know, I ask for some additional photos. Guy sends me another photo. You know, everything looks good. I order it. The next day, maybe 2 days later, tracking number. Well, guitar's in the mail. Sounds good. So, you know, I wait. 7 days go by. Package shows up at the door. Great, you know, I'm happy. Pick it up. You know, something's not right. Feels way too light. It wasn't heavy like the first package. Didn't have time to deal with it. Put it in the closet because I wanted to do another unboxing video like the previous one. A couple days go by, pull it out of the closet, do my unboxing video. Lo and behold, it's not a black Les Paul, white Ibanez. I don't know what to do with this thing. So anyway, you know, I'm pretty pissed off about this whole thing. Like, buddy, what are you doing to me here? You know, the first time everything was good. Second time, you send me, you know, this white Ibanez guitar. It's the Steve Vai signature model. I'm not a Steve Vai fan. I don't play any metal, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. So, try to resolve this thing with the seller. You know, the process goes on. In short, the guy he stalls me, and you know, you've heard these stories. Oh, you know, blah blah blah, and he's gonna fix the problem, and I'll cut to the shot and I'll read some of the banter from between us, and you can see what he has to say for himself. So here's some of the conversation I have with the guy after telling him, you know, you've sent me the wrong guitar, you know, what are you gonna do about it? Tell him I'm gonna apply for refund. He says, really? We are very sorry to hear that. We have checked that we sent you the right guitar, friend. Can you show us a picture of the packaging? We look forward to hearing from you. I had already uploaded the picture of the packaging, the tracking number, everything for him. So several days go by. He says, hi, can you tell me the total weight of this packaging? Sorry for all the trouble with you. I must check so I can solve it. A couple days go by. I will solve it for you today, thanks. A couple days go by. Hi, sorry for late replying. Could you show me more detailed pictures of the packaging, especially the tracking number? Sorry for all the trouble with you. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. That's the game that they're gonna play. Just keep stalling you until I guess you give up. This goes on for, I'm gonna say 3 weeks maybe. What are we gonna do here? So you're gonna send me the guitar. How am I gonna, you know, resolve this with you? So it kind of goes back and forth and back and forth. Finally, I get fed up. I can't wait any longer. I go into DHGate, I start checking the policies to see, you know, what there is that can be done about this. And under their website policy, you're covered for 100% if the seller sends you something that is completely not like what you ordered. So I was like, alright, sounds good. So I have to put in for mediation. This process is, you know, long and drawn out, so I submit my claim to them. Meanwhile, trying to resolve this with the seller. After, I want to say 5 or 6 days, maybe a week goes by. So how it works is, you put in your claim, you know, you send them any links, any conversation that you had with the seller, they look at the pictures, you send them a photo of what you received. I told them I had a video if they wanted to get their hands on that too. And then the seller gets their chance to reply to, you know, the situation and the claim. I submit my claim. They have to wait another 5 days, I think, for this guy to reply. Eventually he replies, and then they decide that I'm covered. They're going to give me a full 100% refund, but I have to send the guitar back. And I'm gonna have to pay for the shipping up front, but the seller is gonna be responsible for the shipping fees to send it all the way back to China. I don't know what this is gonna. It's gonna cost an enormous fee to send this thing back across the ditch to China. So I wait. You know, and the seller has 5 more days to put his address on. You know, 4 days go by. The last day comes in. He puts his address there. I'm like, all right. Now it's my turn again in the process. I gotta give them a tracking number saying I sent it to them. And they say, you know, take photos, this and that and the other. I go to the post office, I check a couple different shipping methods. To ship one of these guitars back to China with a tracking number, guaranteed with signature, the lowest I could get through Canada Post was 270 bucks. So mind you, the guitar costs 305 to send to me. So I don't know what these people are getting these things for or what their profit margin is, but obviously that's, you know, it's not very agreeable. So I messaged the seller again, like, listen guy, this is going to cost $270 for me to send this back. Do you want me to send this thing back to you? If you do, that's great, you know. Here you go. DHGate's promising me that you're going to pay the fees to send it back. No replies, of course. Then he says, sorry for my late replying. We will exchange the guitar for you, so now we need to solve the Ibanez guitar. Is there anything you can keep this guitar? We have a suggestion to solve it. You pay shipping cost of $100 USD for Ibanez, and you also keep it. Meanwhile, we will ship the right ebony guitar to you at once. Is this okay? I look forward to hearing from you. I say, sure, fine, send me the other guitar. Oh, this is the guitar we will ship to you. So I say, well, give me a picture of this one you're going to send me then. You know, I'm getting full refund type thing, and it is. So, you know, days go by. You know, I tell them it's going to be 270 bucks Canadian to send this thing back. You know, do you like this idea? Please don't ship it, friend. We will have them agree to our situation for soon. We've got 4 days. You know, you have to meet the deadlines in this DHGate process. Otherwise, they just close the case and release the money to the seller. The money, by the way, on DHGate is held in escrow, so the seller doesn't actually get it until all the transactions are completed. So a couple of days goes by, you know, he tries to work it out with DHGate. I'm like, I'm not gonna just close the account and hope this guy sends me the guitar. You know, that's ridiculous. I send DHGate another message saying this is the shipping fees. He hasn't told me how he wants me to ship it back. They say, well, ship it back however you want if he doesn't tell you. So I put it in there. They tell the guy how much it's gonna be. He doesn't want to deal with partial refund or let me just keep the guitar and refund me the money. So I say, okay, fine. I send it back, you know. Cross my fingers, hope it gets there. So this goes on for, I don't know, another 12 days or something it took for this guitar to get back to China. It was in customs over there for at least a week, I think. A couple days go by after that. Delivered. Signature. So I was like, alright. You know, I was kind of worried, like, what's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna say, I never got it, or it's broken, or, you know, what kind of hijinks are gonna play out? And, you know, now I'm out of pocket $570, $580, something like that. So I was, you know, it's not the end of the world, but it didn't seem right to me. Like, just send me whatever guitar you feel like. I think, by and large, most of these sellers do not have any of these guitars. I think they're all bought on prospect. You know, you put the order in, they go out into the universe and they try to find these things. If they can't, I guess you don't get one, or they don't send it to you, or they send you whatever they have laying around. For all I know, this thing could already have been shipped overseas and back to him because nobody wants this guitar. And I tried to play it, you know, I plugged it in, I'm like, alright, well, let's see what this thing is like. You know, the neck was really nice on it, and that's pretty much where it ends with this guitar. The tremolo system was, you know, I didn't know what to do with it. It was crazy. The nut on the end was just garbage. I could not get to tune this thing to pitch at all. It just would not play. The pickups were horrible. They were muddy. And I don't know a whole lot of guitars, but this guitar was not good. It was a piece of shit, basically. And if you look on any of these Chinese wholesale websites, these things are going for, you know, 200 bucks, maybe less or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's one of the least expensive guitars you can get your hands on. So a couple days go by, I start messaging DHGate. this guy's received the guitar, he's got it. How long is it gonna be before I get my refund, you know? I'm just waiting for the bomb to be dropped on me, basically. And eventually I get a reply. You know, they're like, well, if he has it after 20 days, he's deemed to have received it if he doesn't reply, so, you know, we'll close the account and refund you the money. I'm like, alright, now I gotta wait another, like, 2 weeks or whatever. So I keep messaging people, you know, this, that. All of a sudden, you know, I get a message in my inbox. Your order has been refunded, order canceled, credit card's refunded. So I checked, and sure enough, I got my my initial payment back on my credit card. And I was like, well, what about the shipping fee? How am I getting the money back for this? So I had to, you know, message customer service, a couple different people, a couple different times. Eventually, they sent me back a message. Sure enough, they put the money back in my DHGate account. They can't technically put it, I guess, on my credit card because I didn't pay them the money, so they put it on my DHGate account, transferred back to my bank account back home. Now, it's one of those, I got screwed, but I didn't get screwed because I played the game the way I was supposed to play it, I guess. So these are the things that you might want to keep in mind. So people are wondering also, you know, how can I, you know, try to make these transactions go smooth as possible? You know, you're really going to have to do your homework. There's all kinds of websites, and I don't know the ins and outs of all of them, but the sellers do. So they know all the loopholes that they can get in and out of. So what you're going to definitely want to do is don't Western Union, you know, don't pay from your bank account. Definitely use a credit card. You know, you can get these prepaid ones. I used my own credit card. You know, Visa's treated me pretty good over the years, so I wasn't too worried about that. You know, try to find a seller that you know, has a lot of sales. Okay, also, and I did this, and I know a lot of people do, try to get them to send you a picture that's not the one on the website. Some of these people are using stock photos, or they're sharing photos, or the factories where these things are made are giving, you know, just a general photo to people to what they can get their hands on. Try to get a newer or updated photo. And if you see the same photo on there for 5 or 6 sellers, I think that's a red flag that should go off. It's my understanding that the guitars that are less common are probably going to be easier to get your hands on because less people want them. You know, I tried to order the black Les Paul. Probably 1 million people want these things, so I'm guessing that they're not a lot on hand all the time. So maybe that was part of the problem. I guess this guy figured, whatever, I'll just send this guy the guitar and he could eat it. And I was like, no way, this is not happening. You know, I'm gonna deal with this. 300 bucks, not the end of the world. Mortgage is still getting paid. The fact of the matter is, it's just not right. So try to, you know, don't go and start ordering things with money you don't have. This is what I'm gonna suggest, because you never know. I'm sure for everybody that got their money back or got the guitar they wanted, there's probably 10 other guys that totally got taken, and you know, they've got no recourse because they didn't play the game right. So do your homework, figure out how the system works, what your protections are, and use it, and make sure you meet all the deadlines, or else, you know, you're not gonna come out a happy customer. I mentioned this a little bit in my other video. Is it worth it to buy some of these guitars? That's entirely up to you. If you don't have $2,000 or whatever to buy a new Les Paul standard, I can see why people are tempted to get their hands on these things, but they're not going to play the way you want them to when they show up at your door. They're going to need some work, I'm telling you. You see videos of guys demoing these things, and they say they're out of the box and that, but I have a hard time believing it, you know, because they're not the same guitar, and they will not play the way you want them to without some work on them. If you want to get them as a project, put a little work in, you're going to get something probably decent out of it. That being said, you're looking at probably a couple $100 to get it going to where you want to be. So if you're looking at spending $300 plus a couple $100 on that, we'll say $500. There's a lot of good guitars out there in that range, so you know, it's really up to you. If you really have to have a Les Paul, then you know, go for it, but there are, you know, plenty of guitars out there in the universe. Am I going to order another one? Yeah, you know, I don't know at this point. The whole 2-month, you know, painful waiting process was just a little bit too much to take again. Any other questions? You know, let me know. I don't know how the other websites work. I use DHGate. They seem to have some of the best policies. This seller that I would not use is called eBest. I want to give a shout out to you know, all the guys on YouTube who are into this Chinese stuff, Squazoo. he helped me out with a bunch of different websites to get some aftermarket parts on. Dave's in Texas, you know, you can look at his 300 ranting videos about all these Chinese things, so been talking to him about it, and you know, hope that helps. That, you know, if you got any questions, you know, or you want to put your testimony all up on how you know, China tried to bend you over, then, you know, I welcome it. You know, spread the information, and maybe somebody else can be happy and won't get screwed over. Cheers, guys.